Samuel Nibombe is a defender or defensive midfielder who currently plays his club football at Monaco. He is a product of the Anderlecht and Charleroi academies and recently was transferred to Monaco. He has been putting in some impressive youth team performances across this season, and he has represented Belgium at every youth level up to under 18s, where he's the current captain. After reading various reports on Samuel Nibombe, it looks like he could develop into a big talent. At the moment, Monaco are using him in his development as a centre-back. This is mainly due to the fact he stands at 6'6", and when he comes up against other youth teamers, he generally has a massive advantage in the air. Now, having a massive advantage in the air is a good thing, but also he's surprisingly good with his feet. He has a good range of passing and often can build play out from the back after breaking up attacks. The only downside to being a very tall player is that sometimes when nimble players can get in behind him, he struggles to accelerate in the first few yards to catch up with the player, and if it isn't over a greater distance, sometimes gets left exposed when pushed higher up the pitch. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of Passion 4 FM, in today's video I could show you what Samuel Nibombe would look like in FM24 and also give you a sneak peek of what he could look like in FM26. If you're looking to add hundreds of Wonderkids to your database, you need to go to the Passion 4 FM website where you can download the next gen Wonderkid database. That database will contain hundreds of brand new Wonderkids that are not yet available in FM24 and also add some slight tweaks to players that maybe have had an upgrade across the past year. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Samuel Nibombe. We're going to put him through his paces across 15 years to see how FM24 thinks that he can develop. We're starting him off at the beginning of the game. It's 2024, and that means he's a 16-year-old who is in Monaco's under-19s. At this point of his career, he has not yet broken through into the first team, and looking at his attributes, he's a raw package of a player. As I said, he's a tall centre-back standing at 6'6", and looking at the attributes, his heading is obviously one of his standouts in his technicals. Marking is also good, tackling is good, and his technique is good too. In terms of the mentals, he has a good set of mentals with determination, leadership, and anticipation all standing out. In the physical side of things, he could do with a bit of work in terms of his pace and acceleration, as we noted about some of his weaknesses but he does have good balance, natural fitness, and strength. So, let's see what FM24 thinks the future will hold for Samuel Nibombe. At the first checkpoint, we are 5 years into the future, and Samuel Nibombe is now 21 years old. Monaco have decided to loan him out. He has had a couple of loans, the first of which was to Oxford, where he would play 17 times, scoring once. He would then come back to the team and drop into the second team, where he would play 81 times and score 4 goals. And now he has been loaned out to Millwall to gain some more first team experiences, where he has played a full season, 34 games, scoring 1 goal. Looking at his development, it's a slow burner. It's not really one of those explosive types of development that we've seen with some of the other players, but he is getting there. Looking at the attributes again, his strengths are still the heading, the marking, passing, tackling, and technique. In the mentals, everything is coming together really nicely, with concentration, leadership, and anticipation being standouts. And in the physicals, he has now started to develop really well, with acceleration picking up, pace has improved, his jumping reach and balance and strength are all standout things. So at this point, he's developing nicely, but is he going to be so much of a slow burner that he may not get to the top? Let's see how he looks in 10 years' time. We have now reached the 10-year mark, and we can see that Samuel Nibombe has finally left Monaco. He is 26 years old, and that slow burning development has now really started to gather pace. Firstly though, let's look at where he has been. So after his loan to Millwall, he went back to Monaco, only made 4 appearances there, went to Nice, played 33 times, and then in-swooped Borussia Dortmund to pick him up, 77 appearances now with 2 goals. In terms of the attributes, technicals haven't really developed as I thought they would, but he still is decent in that area. It's still first touch, heading, marking, passing, tackling and technique that stand out. But in the other two categories, he really has started to get that explosiveness into that development. So anticipation is good, concentration is good, positioning is now standout. You also have balance and jumping reach standing out in the physicals, but he's now 14 for pace, 13 for acceleration, 15 for strength. Not only is he now a tall defender, he's a tall, strong defender. It looks like Borussia Dortmund are going to kick him on, but the question as always, in that next step to 15 years, is there any more development to come? We are now at the final checkpoint. We're 15 years into the future. Samuel Nibombe is still at Borussia Dortmund. He's now a 31-year-old centre-back who is described by the media as an elite centre-back. He has played 239 games for Dortmund, scoring 12 goals. He has 412 career appearances with 20 goals. In terms of his attributes, a few of them have started to decline a little bit. There's still no real progression in terms of the technicals, but the mentals, anticipation is good, concentration is good, positioning is still good, and then the standouts in the physicals are his agility, his balance and his jumping reach. The pace and acceleration actually have improved since his 26-year-old profile. He's now up to 15 for each of those, 15 for stamina and 15 for strength. I'll be honest, Samuel Nibombe is not a player I'd heard a lot about. When I started to do a bit of research, I thought, it's interesting. Would he actually suit playing a centre-back where he can be turned by nimble players and players and getting behind? Or should he be moved further up the pitch? Now, the answer to that question is no clearer using FM24 because it looks like he plays the majority of his games as a centre-back and they still utilise his height even in the professional game. But it poses an interesting question. His passing of 15 means that he can break up attacks and really begin to play out from the back. And also, if he steps up into midfield, he can be a creative outlet too. So, all in all, FM24 think that he's going to be a slow burner that goes to one of those late bloomers or late developers as they describe in game. And it seems like his career path in FM24 means that he's going to start slow but really take off towards the end of his career and probably flourish later on. And that's interesting to see because FM24 using this method obviously is only a projection. We put the data in and then it tells us what it thinks. But with the right nurturing, it could be that this player really has one of those careers where he's going to develop and get better and better as time goes on. Right then, that is Samuel Nibombe. We have had a look at what can happen to him using FM24, shown you a possible little spoiler about what he could look like in FM26. And if the FM26 development goes just like this, it would definitely be a player worth investing in for the long term. Once again, if you need a database to get all of the latest Wonderkids, visit Passion4FM. That database, the next gen database, will be there with all of the latest Wonderkids and you can add them to your FM24 new games. For this one though, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.